we could have done a lot better. With the first female president of Africa, you are, she was the darling of the world. Whatever you do in life, you have good, better, and best. You have to admit, and the president herself would be the first to admit that there were a lot of things we could have accomplished that we didn't accomplish. And there were opportunities. One of those opportunities I talk about is that we pay tuitions for students, for young people coming out of the war. We have been aggressive enough to put into place good vocational training, good programs, would have dislodged most of those young people that followed here, would have made them better youth for today. When Nancy Pelosi came here and said, Ellie, you let the world will light Liberia, I will make her put electricity here. There are things that we could have done better. The first 6 years, we did very well. But see, later on, there was a decline. There was a decline in many of the things that we could have done. So I'm just saying that we missed opportunities. And I have said it in cabinet when they used to talk about donor fatigue. Donor fatigue. One should always know that when you are bereaved and people go to sympathize, they're not going to be with you forever. Take advantage of the time there, make the maximum. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. Mm-hmm. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you run for one term, he said, I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest. Find somebody
filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, your partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors, and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I must report to you that we are leaving behind a better economy than we inherited. Today, President-elect Joseph Nima Bouaka We inherit a stronger economy than I inherited. There is a bigger net international reserve position than was handed me in 2018. I inherited 94,999,000 United States dollars in net international reserves. And I am handing over to the next administration a net international reserve position of 222,700,000 United States dollars. This is 136% increase in the net international reserve position. The total cash balance in the government's consolidated account is United States $40,044,365.90. In 2018, my government inherited a consolidated cash position of $7 million United States dollars. The next administration thus has more resources to deal with emergency macroeconomic challenges than my administration had at its disposal in 2018. My fellow citizens, through our time together, I have still fast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the root of our democratic journey. I am immensely proud that during my tenure, Liberia remained at peace with itself and at peace with its neighbor. Our armed forces, the force of good, were never turned against our own people, and external actions were confined to international peacekeeping mission under the United Nations. This peace, sustained by our own domestic resources, is a testament to the maturity and strength of our nation. We protected the inalienable rights of every Liberian citizen as enshrined in our Constitution. Freedom of speech, assembly, and expression were not only preserved, but celebrated. There were no political prisoners or prisoners of conscience during my entire term, a testament to the development of strong democratic institutions that are now not only hailed as competent and professional, but as trusted and credible. Liberia is now regarded as a pillar of democracy in West Africa and a shining example to the world. This was only made possible through our various collaborative efforts. I want to thank all Liberians, regardless of your political affiliation, for staying the course and helping build a stronger and more vibrant nation. As I step aside as president of Liberia, I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, in order to ensure the continuation of our strong and vibrant democracy. I therefore urge you, my fellow citizens, to continue to be law-abiding and seek peaceful means to resolve differences, embrace tolerance and dialogue. Let us love one another and come together as one people, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us remember the strength of our unity, the resilience of our democracy, and the hope that lies in the future of Liberia. As we welcome a new era, let us move forward hands in hand with a shared commitment to building a united nation that will continue to strive on observing the tenets of democracy and adhering to the rule of law. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the Republic of Liberia.
Those who wrote the speech, in inauguration, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about our effort to bring a new regime. Then we'll sit down with happiness. We go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then you go there, I will tell you that nation, I will tell you US, I will bring 1.4 here. Because you think 1.4 are Johnson. I will tell the old man of bringing. When you got to that place. In this country,
when you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices. Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to themes. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 1319, with respect to which the president declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brenda Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and Armed Prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as Chief Prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. There was little mention, if any, in his testimony about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posit that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive mansion, daring all of us to come and get him. Unless he is handed over to the special court for Sierra Leone, this scenario is not out of the realm of possibilities. He then asked, how do we assure Liberia's future? And he answers that. Ultimately, he says, what we do about Taylor in the next several weeks will determine the fate of Liberia and the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Fani Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African
I do not know if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me, and in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get one or two of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best. Any other regrets? The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me, and in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get one or two of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent,
where you at? Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people sue us. The people last us. The government betray us. So much treason. I said the lie. The people sue us. The people last.
Oh yes, and my editor said to me, Austin, the only part of the song I love, your theme song, is when the boy is saying, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. She said, when the song plays, I can be raising my hand, raising my hand, raising my hand, raising my hand. But the song prepares you, it propels you also, and it places you in the space of deep concentration, focus. Because you know facts are ahead of you. You know bravery is coming via the radio to you. You know truth telling is available. And you know boldness is going to smile and embrace you. That means say very, very pleasant. Good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say here and the way we say them. It's good to have you joining us tonight.
No one to trust. My people don't want to hope on.
It's January 15. Pretty soon, so soon we have gone half of the month. So it means if you started work with government anywhere on the 1st of January or the 2nd or in January, it means you, even if they dismiss you today or tomorrow, you will TP.
No one for people crying for hunger.
Yes, folks, too many things to talk about, but tonight we want to place emphasis on the fiscal governance of our country.
Nothing to show, nothing. So
we believe we are of the strongest conviction that the government is hiding something. Do you know that since Joe Braka was placed under extreme pressure to sound the budget, and he was also in another man's country and he signed the budget and the e-marshal published that the budget has been signed. Do you know that the Ministry of Finance has now published a budget? The budget is signed according to the government, but it is yet to be published. So you cannot access the budget, your national envelope, in honor of the open budget initiative. What are they hiding? Are they hiding something? Why have they not published the budget, especially honor and Augustine Gaffron? Hey! But we too have been doing our research and we have some observation with the budget. We are going to raise these observations tonight.
Indeed, and now you need to deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So what?
And it's important we do that. So just seconds, more than I think about not more than 10 seconds after we received the official letter of suspension of Director Brown Lansana, head of the National Elections Commission. The executive manager said, no, let's publish the communication. So the executive manager issued a release announcing the suspension of the National Elections Commission boss, Madam Director Brown Lansana. You know, 2 million fighting making per hour, it can sound so sexy to me. It sounds like 2 girls' children. So I don't normally get involved with these kinds of conversations when 2 men are making per hour, especially grown up or grown ups. I'm referring to the situation involving Eugene Falcon and Stanton Witherspoon. I think they are adults, they're going to handle their issues. But we just play a small teaser from their or except from their engagements or their exchanges or their interactions. I think it's an interesting piece.
Telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads?
So Front Page is reporting that Liberia's vice president has made it known to the public that the late Prince Johnson, senator of Nima County, had promised to make him president.
People suffer. No one
So, to a greater extent, the revelation today by former Senator Jeremiah Kun, a current Vice President, to a greater extent validates, confirms that he wants to be president, even though he does not have an approval from his boss Joe Barker as to whether he is standing for re-election in 2029 or he will not be standing for election in 2029. His vice president has openly said he has ambitions.
The government betrays us.
So yes, we want to focus on these different issues tonight. Hope we have the luxury of time to engage all of them, especially so when tonight is jackpot night and we have to give out $20,000 and above. So tonight, the way we're doing it tonight, like we did yesterday, we want to begin the show with giving you money, and then in the middle, and then after we give you money, we run straight into our discussion tonight. Madam 430 is suspended by Mr. Squanderer. The Squanderer suspends Madam 430. So let's run into our budget conversation tonight, and there are interesting things that you need to know that you did not know. So we want to ask some questions tonight and run out some opinions tonight about our fiscal governance. And my good friend, a government official, just texted me and say, I don't want to say you are lying, but let me go confirm it here first. Go and confirm it. The budget assigned, the signed budget. I answer the budget people. I answer the release or the statement for e-marshal that the president signed the budget or the budget people. I said the budget, the envelope, the signed budget, detailing everything, is not published by the Ministry of Finance, and this is a violation of our laws, of the budget law. The budget is supposed to be published online.
Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation.
And so if it is not published, we have to talk about it, because this government campaign on the standard, the platform of transparency and accountability. Open Budget Initiative is part of the programs of our government and not Joe Barker's government. And the only way our budget process will be open, especially when the legislature has already Nicodemously passed it. The past version now is supposed to be published on the website of the Ministry of Finance for us to be able to access it and go through the different lands and inform our people and educate our people and enlighten our people about the different lands in the budget. Unfortunately, it is not published online. What is the government not publishing the budget online? Are they hiding something? What do they want to hide? Don't forget, this show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of OMSM Sion, and it is in partnership with Radio Entertainment Liberia, our partner that gives out the cash. Tonight we're paying out $20,000 Liberian dollars to each of our winners. Thanks to all of you for joining us on our Facebook Live and via our online radio. And those of you joining us via the radio, the manual radio too. Very shortly, we go to our Facebook Live to welcome all of you who've joined us tonight. But before we come to recognize all of you, we take a break from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. When we come back, we talk. We welcome all of you to the fellowship tonight. This is Freedom Hard Talk. This is Freedom FM. My name is Austin Kawa. We go for this break. We come back. We talk cash giveaway. Don't forget, the short code is the same for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesdays, Thursdays, Friday. The short code is the same. It remains the same. So all you have to do, just make sure you have $200 Liberian dollars on your mobile money account, or you have its equivalent in US dollar, which should be something around $1.50. And once you have that, you're qualified to play our cash giveaway. Just dial *799 *70 hash. Again, the short code tonight to win $20,000 is *799 *70 hash. You send, and then two options will appear before you. Option number 1 will be requiring you to play in US dollars, and option number 2 will be requiring you to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you select, you send, and then you enter your mobile money password. So it's a 3-step forward to winning $20,000 tonight. Step number 1 is you dial *799 *70 hash. You send. Step number 2 is you select option number 1 if you are playing in US dollars, or you select option number 2 if you are playing in Liberian dollars. Step number 3 is you enter your mobile money password. Very easy, simple to play the cash giveaway and walk away with 20,000 Liberian dollars tonight, each of our winners tonight. Let's take a word from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. When we come back, we recognize all of you who join us tonight. But as we are recognizing these people and playing, or taking a word from our sponsors, keep playing the cash giveaway *799 *70 hash. It's the short code, and follow the instructions.
Musical. There are crowds in many places, in every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime and it, don't take law in your hands for the authority. Really, you can't take your law in. Crime stopper here for us, we need safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human talking, I mean you check. You wait for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all of us. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, let's stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, let's stop it crime for all of us. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and make it peace for them before. Crime stopper, Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, let's stop it crime for all of us.
Okay, thank you, Old Man Sam Cyan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Old Man Sam Cyan, Crime Stopper Liberia. So, folks, let's run into welcoming all of you who join us tonight to fellowship politically with us. So we have Alaska Pace joining us tonight from India, Commissioner Lupo, J. Tupe, Helena Wilson, Mawata Ability, James Lame, Emmanuel Bro, Patricia Taru, Kelvin Soko, Emmanuel Vojolo, Agatha Glasgow, Arnold Taylor, Korea Johnson, Mackenzie, Mackenzie, Blackman, are all joining us tonight. Avin Sompon is also following. Stanley Anderson, Wata Bowman, Josephine Amicia, CDC Pape Success, Keita Phoenicius, Junior Bar, Tatos Rennie, Deeply, Son of KOK, Otto are all following us tonight. Christopher Bernard, Chris, my man, we got unfinished business, right? Emmanuel Bro, Abdullahi Due, Mary Tule, Elijah Cody, James C. Ellis, Nessia Dawo, Dorothy Desayu. Oh my, I want to talk something about Dorothy Desayu. The reason we all of us will join together to find you for neglecting us. Eh? We will find you for neglecting us. But anyway, welcome. Jessica Beslow, Elijah Komini, Tina Cooper, Aliu Donso, James Kamara, Michelle Dio is following us tonight from Minnesota. Tina Lorenzo. Tina, welcome from Yekeba. Odell Gibson, J. Augustus Help from up the hill. Sylvester Johnson and John Saki, Mohammed Kamara. All of you tonight, would like to say we are pleased, we are excited to have you joining us tonight on the show. So, folks, this is what the e-marshal published, and so it's important that we read for you what the e-marshal published in the suspension of Madam David Eto Brown Lansana. Those of you, I have two, I have two countries now. Everything about me from the Western region, but I have a country of birth and a country of origin. So my country of origin is Cape Mine, and my country of birth is Bomi. But for this year's country meet, we are supporting Grand Cape Mount, my country of origin. So we are supporting Grand Cape Mount. We lost to Nima. Nima is bereaved, and they went to Cape Mount. So the bereaved one is that they are bereaved, and two, they were our guests on the last weekend. So people came in morning, then we go beat them and all of that. So we allowed our girls and their boss to beat us as a way of welcoming them to Grand Cape Mount, and as a way of consoling them for the bereavement of their late political hero, Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. And so we allowed them to beat us, to put smiles on their faces and all of that as they stay in Nima for the next phase of the county meet. However, today we were told that River G played Nima and drew with Nima 0-0. So everybody is expecting that River G will draw Cape Mount on Saturday, or River G will beat us and qualify, and we will not get qualified for Monrovia. Cape Mount is not far from Monrovia, so we are not afraid of coming to Monrovia. We love to come to Monrovia, and we will come to Monrovia. So Saturday will be Grand Cape Mount County. We start the mobilization, even though it has started, but we are continuing the mobilization for Grand Cape Mount to ensure that we put all of the necessary things into perspective to ensure that our boss are well prepared, well focused, psychologically strong, and determined, and brave to face the boss of Nima. Francis Dubu, I'm putting no senator to your title tonight. Francis Dubu and Bocha Sigbe, they noted for cheating. So we'll keep our eyes on them. We'll keep our intel on them. So any bullshit, fire will blaze. So because we'll go to that game, the games on Saturday with everything, with vigor, with new strength and determination to ensure that we make our country proud and we make our people proud. And so we have to rally together, rally around each other, and ensure that the boys and the girls are motivated to come to Monrovia to face those people from Nima and those people from Grand already, I think so, and all of that. So yeah, so that's what it is. So while we mobilize for Grand Cape Mount ahead of the county meet, our last engagement on Saturday. This is what the executive mansion published today. So let's read for you. Okay, so the e-marshal said January 15, 2025. Okay, Executive Marshal Monrovia President Joseph Yeman Braka has suspended Madam David Eto Brown Lansana, Chairperson of the National Elections Commission, for an indefinite period for actions in violation of the elections law. The suspension follows an investigation into recent protests by aggrieved networkers regarding administrative decisions taken without proper consultation. According to the findings, Madam Brown Lasana unilaterally announced the closure of the NEC office for 1 month and dismissed 25 employees without the knowledge or approval of the NEC Board of Commissioners as required by law. Section 2.1 and Section 2.10D of the Elections Law, which vest the authority to conduct NEC affairs in the Board of Commissioners as a collective body. The law mandates that decisions involving corrective measures against employees must be taken in consultation with the board, not by the chairperson or any individual commissioner acting alone. While the committee constituted to investigate the grievances, this is in quote, while the committee constituted to investigate the grievances of NEC workers was actively addressing the matter, Madam Brown Lansana took Madam Brown Lansana took precipitous and unilateral actions, thereby undermining the integrity and stability of the institution. The president stated, let me drink some water and become tongue twisting here tonight. It continues by saying, the president expressed concern that such actions could adversely impact the NEC's ability to conduct by-elections scheduled within the next 2 months, while also creating a toxic working environment at the commission. The government of Liberia remains committed to ensuring transparency, accountability, and adherence to the rule of law in all institutions, particularly the NEC, which plays a critical role in upholding Liberia's democratic principles. So this is signed by Kula Fofana, Presidential Press Secretary to the President of the Republic of Liberia. So the bottom line is that Madam Lassana is suspended. For me, if they want to dismiss her, that's their business. If they want to suspend her for time indefinite, that's their business. If they want to suspend her for 2-3 months, that's their business. But you see, from the onset, when we spoke about Mr. Braga's intention to push this country into lawlessness, some of you felt it was about opposition views. So, the people just thinking, well, let's allow them to do what they want to do. When they started targeting tenure position using illegal and unorthodox means to target tenure jobs, in some cases they will organize people, employees who are new, maybe affiliates or allies to the Unity Party, the ruling party. They will use them, influence them to stage protests and all of that, and and use the protest as a cause, or the grievance or grievances as a cause for indefinite suspension of people, for people with tenure jobs, and then they use that to fill or appoint an acting in a position, and then that person remains acting for the rest of their life, like in the case of the LTA, in the case of the central bank and all of that. So you see, you have everybody acting in strategic positions that should be tenure jobs. Now it is with NEC. Madam Brown professed to be an individual of integrity, high moral rectitude, well-learned or educated person. So she knows what is right. She knows what is morally right. She knows what is integral, upright for her to do or take. If she believes that the president's decision to suspend her for time indefinite violates her right or is illegal, the right thing she can do is to resign her position. Hey, you start talking about Cape Benin on la politics can't tell you. Peter Ayaka. So if she knows what is right, if she thinks that her rights are being violated by the decision of the president to suspend her for time indefinite with all of, because these are grave allegations, captured in the statement from the president. She has options either to resign. It says she's suspended for time indefinite, and request or push the government to investigate her, which I know the government is not going to do. The government will not do. Even the government has the plethora of evidence. So they have to you. I won't really go. So, what do they have? Could you read that? What kind of thing? So, they may not know more. So, whether they have the plethora of evidence to even find her guilty, they will not proceed to court to prosecute her for the allegations they are levying against her or for the violation. Yeah, you may say there are some administrative violations that may not require you going to court. It may just require administrative actions which could include indefinite suspension or a dismissal and all of that. That is within the purview of the president, especially so when you are a presidential appointee, regardless of whether you have tenure job. Yes, as a political appointee for administrative reasons or administrative causes, the president reserves that constitutional right and authority to suspend you or dismiss you. Those are all administrative actions that fall within the purview of the president. So it makes it very difficult, to question the kinds of authorities, especially so when you're not being dismissed or rather arbitrarily from your job. An investigative panel was still set up. The panel recommended whether the report is flawed or all of that. That is for Director Brown Lasana to say that the report, she received a copy of the report and the report is flawed, probably because the report needs further validation. That's why the president may have said, let me just suspend her for time indefinite as we validate the findings, the observation, and maybe the findings within the report before follow or before follow action or before final action or decision is made, whether she will stay or she will go or she will remain suspended and go through for prosecution. Whatever the situation is, that is within the political purview of the president to do so. So I'm not going to waste my time too much questioning his administrative authority and all of that. People, that's what the Constitution gives to him. So whether they decide to abuse that constitutional authority or misuse that constitutional authority, which to some extent I believe these constitutional authorities and privileges are being misused and abused recklessly by Joe Barker, Mr. President Joe Barker. But again, they have a space or a cloud to justify these administrative actions. So it makes it so complicated to really detail your disagreement with some of these administrative actions. But listen to this recording. Yes. So the cash giveaway is active. So as we're talking, you just be playing the cash giveaway. The short code is *799 *70#. You send and then you follow the instruction. So I want to play this recording for you. Where is the recording? Here is it. So listen to our man. The 2 minute cost in my cost. Each other man. Listen to it.
We got a lot of stuff to discuss. And listen, I don't worry when people running around and talking tabata. No. They're not my mate. I don't worry about them. I fed them, I clothe them, so I don't worry about them. They are like my children. I take care of them. So I can't get rid of my children. I can't. Because I'm feeding you. I pay your school fee. I pay your rent. I put clothes on you. So why should I get mad at you? So I can't get fair with them? I can't. The one of people I got to insult to that you're the Liberian people. So when all the other cockroaches running around, I'll take care of them, they will be just fine.
Now, the reason why I'm playing this because today, a big brother who I respect a lot in government reached out to me and said, what do you make of Stanton's description in the face of their disagreement? He said it's normal for that radio people, propagandists, will disagree, politicians will disagree. And he said, but in the face of the disagreement, what do you think about the branding of those who are having disagreement with Stanton as cockroaches? And I said, but Big Brother, in all fairness, Stanton has said nothing new. The use of cockroaches became a cliche when George Weah was president. In our good friend and Big Brother and Pa and father figure, Benana, you will refer to PCDC people as cockroaches. Stanton Witherspoon stand on his platform and refer to seditionists and supporters of George Weah as cockroaches. And so, Big Brother, you were sitting on a platform and you were on that same platform. You made many appearances there with that very Stanton reference seditions and branded seditions as cockroaches. But then when he did that, you're serving ice cream. You're bathing and serving ice cream. Because it was good, referring to human beings as cockroaches. How come today you want to get angry because he referred to Eugene Fagon and other people? He must say, give me a chance, I'll call Eugene Fagon a cockroach. He not in appearance, but in attitude, in behavior. Research about the attributes of cockroaches, their movements and everything, their organization, and compare that to Eugene Fagon. He must refer to it as a cockroach. His attitudes, his appearance, everything, they are all exemplifications of a cockroach. If you live with somebody, the person fed you, the person sheltered you, the person pay your fees. To a greater extent, by inference, that person becomes a parasite. How cockroach survives? How does it survive? So a human being that survives, or is a human being that survives like a cockroach? That human being can be equated to a cockroach. So I see people running all around, standing insulting Eugene Fagon. But Eugene Fagon insulting other people, yeah, y'all were clapping. They see messages on the ERBC platform and misbehave on people, and y'all clap. Somebody calling cockroach to describe the style of life, the lifestyle. Cockroach is just a figurative expression being used to describe his lifestyle, who he is. Then I see all of you running all around. Oh, why you calling man cockroach? Why you calling all cockroach? The man is referring to people who live the lifestyle of a cockroach. So if you know you live with Stanton, he fed you, he clothed you, he sheltered you, he educated you, you fall in a category. You fall in a category. Now you're getting angry. Stanton did not commit any wrong. He didn't commit any crime. Stanton is a radio propagandist. He spoke his mind. If I call him a moderator, and I see some people asking him today, oh, but this Stanton can say on the radio, then he sit down on the radio, why can he even say? He introduce the topic, then he say, then he bring the other person. The other days, what do you make? Or what do you think? The other person, what do you think? I said, what do you think? That's some of the criticisms. But at the same time, the men are using George Weah 6 years and calling people cockroaches, and since time he was using and recognizing all of you, he will come and introduce the topic and recognize when I 7 or 8 or 10 persons on the panel list, he will recognize all of you one by one and give you 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes to render your opinions, and then he close the conversation. Then the style of the show has not changed. The style of the show has not changed. So why I won't be criticizing the man to make it look there? The man is nobody. This man was nobody. He was using the same star. His star on the show has not changed. Yes, it hasn't changed. So how you want to make the star of the show to look there? It has changed to accommodate the opposition bloc or to accommodate his criticism against the government. His style of broadcast has not changed. So don't tell me, oh, the other people can sit down on radio 1 hour, 2 hours, they can talk up here. They can talk. Still not able to do it. He's saying, as soon as he introduce the topic, then he say, oh, what do you make of it? What do you make of it? What do you think? You get 2 minutes. What do you think? You get 5 minutes. That the same style the man using, he has not changed. Radio people have different styles, different qualities of presentation. I will come here and talk about Barrow. All will come here and talk about Barrow. If will come here and talk about Barrow. But there are people who will prefer listening to AB probably because of the force in his voice, or listen to Khan probably because of the comical nature of it, or because of the quality of his voice, or different reasons. People listen to people. So all the radio personalities and the styles of presentation will be different. It can't be the same. The quality of the voices behind the microphones will not be the same. That today now you want to start discussing voice quality and presentation style because Stanton was also calling your cockroaches. Oh, what kind of people are so? That today you know that I tell my good friend, yeah, you know, if you ask me, I'll tell my man Pierre, I say Pierre, leave that whole information ministry. Go find different job in government. Let it transfer you somewhere. I know Jerry Pierre, I know the pains he's going through, I know the embarrassment he's facing. I know the challenges he's encountering on a daily basis at that Ministry of Information. I know. I'm aware. Some of us who've been around for long, we know Ministry of Information. To some extent, some days it's kind of the quality of the work you may even want to do, the progress you develop, you cannot even get the funding to implement or facilitate the implementation of your programs or your strategies. So you just sit there. All you do maybe 2 or 3 times a week, you man the podium and respond to some of the training issues in the country. Like, oh, see the training of the minister of information in the country. They're not making no strategic engagement. All they do, set the platform, my man Lauren Family go, do introduction, finish introducing everybody, call guests go, they talk, they move on there, the minister go, he clears some things off his decks, and respond to some of the training issues. Finish. The work of the Minister of Information goes beyond just talking. It includes lobbying, intense lobbying. Part of the work of the Minister of Information is not talking. It's not done on that podium in our Charles Brown conference room. Part of the work of the Minister of Information is supposed to be done behind the scene through lobbying, strategic engagements, outreach. Because you have to communicate. You have to soften some places. That's where the lobbying comes in. It comes with resources. Do they have the financial capacity to do that work? They don't have the financial capacity to do that work. I felt so bad yesterday. I was listening to the news. I felt so bad from my friend. Do you know what it is for the Minister of Information to go public complaining that the media landscape has been hijacked by non-media people or non-media professionals? Do you know what it means? That is an admittance to failure. The fact that the Minister of Information that is supposed to coordinate media activities on behalf of the government, soften different terrains, navigate different corridors to the mainstream media to get government programs and policies communicated, broadcast, interpreted. The man is complaining that his media landscape has been hijacked. He said significant portion. He said small portion. He said the media landscape has been hijacked. When people speak in that context, they are telling you that a significant portion. They are telling you that they do not have control of the Liberian media. They do not have control of a significant portion of the Liberian media. That's what the Minister of Information was admitting to that day. When he said the media landscape has been hijacked, he was just telling you, oh, we have lost grips of a significant portion of the Liberian media. That's why you see the propaganda or the PR war, everything, the information machinery in the opposition is winning the war against us because we've lost significant control, significant grips, significant connection of the media landscape. How you're saying? Not necessarily that the media landscape has been hijacked by unprofessionals. Who are the unprofessionals? I come and our men from the EFBC I say, let's list the number of people that are doing talk show currently. Let's do the list. Let's look at the number of people that are doing talk show in the country and see what are new people doing talk show. No. Even the very D15, not D15, but Blue Shot Radio. Is any change? Do you see any change there? So the same people that were doing our commentary or radio analysis or whatsoever they were doing on the radio or doing talk show are the same people on the radio. Go to all the major media institutions in the country or all the media institutions in the country. See whether anybody has left or whether it's a significant portion of the media people have left. Go to all the radio stations. You call their names. Come to Freedom. Anybody change from anybody left from Freedom here? Freedom people say maybe just transfer from here to Kings, but he's still on the radio. We stay here. Go to Pram. The people that were on the radio for the entire election period, they are still there. The people that were on the radio for OKFM for the entire period, they are still there doing talk show and running radio analysis. The people that were on the radio to Punch FM and Voice of La Bureau and all the different radio stations, Joy FM, they are still there. Hot FM, the same radio personalities, the same radio brains are still on the radio. How come they were not how come the media landscape was not hijacked then? Then now the media landscape has been hijacked by unprofessionals. Who are the unprofessionals? The same people that were in the media, behind the microphones, in the newsrooms, behind the print. They are the same people. Go to Capitol Building and see the legislative reporters that are there. Whether you see new legislative reporters. If they are new, they will not even represent 0.1%. If they are new legislative reporters, they will not represent 0.1%. If they are new e-marshal reporters, they will not even represent 0.001%. If they are new judicial reporters, they will not represent 0.00%. If they are new talk show hosts in this country, they will not represent 0.00%. The same people that were on the radio for 6 years in the newsrooms, the different newspaper newsrooms, the publishers, go and see whether they are new publishers. The same publishers that were here for 6 years under George Weah, and the same publishers stay here and stay publishing at different newspapers. If they are new publishers, they're not more than 0.001%. So how can my good friend Bibiana crying that the media landscape has been hijacked by unprofessionals? That the same people stay around. And I don't know about anybody whose tune has changed. Significantly, where you say Osikawa or Oliver Kahn or supporting George Weah and UP in power, their tunes have changed. Or where you say, I don't know, I don't want to call them to be pro media people, okay? Because there are people believe people that pro, people that do. But even the institutions that are perceived to be pro UP or pro Baka, their broadcast contents have not changed. So who are the unprofessional people that have hijacked the media now? Content have not changed. Presentation styles have not changed. Structure of the different shows have not changed. The presenters or the hosts of the different shows have not changed. So who are the unprofessionals? I know my man Pierre spoke all of frustration. You know, I mean, look, that job is a hard job. It's not to be information minister. It's not just about just talking. You can you can score a high mark as Minister of Information when you even talk less and when you do more engagements, more outreach. You can achieve a lot. Because your responsibility is basically about fixing things, making the government look fun. How do you do it? You do not have the kind of platform that you need, so you have to communicate. You need a medium to communicate or channel your different programs, policies, and strategies to frame the government fund, to make the government look fun, to fix the government. It's not about going on up, because the first thing is government platforms do not have they have believability issue in the public. The public will not believe to a higher extent. The public does not seem to believe in what comes from the government easily. They prefer listening to the independent media or the private media institutions or the critical voices, because they know that these critical voices will speak the truth. So they prefer. So when you're coming from Mika press conference, when you're coming from ELBC, who's going to get ear to punch ELBC or Mika? people want to hear the truth. When the government is corrupt, the people want to hear you telling the government that it is corrupt. Truth, everyone, let me say truth. ERBC will not tell you, when I carry anything when somebody tell the government that she corrupt. Mika will not go tell the government that she corrupt. So believability issue, that platform already has believability issue. That is why strategic intervention, strategic communication, that's where strategic communication comes in. That's where lobbying comes in. Because it's part of your job as a Ministry of Information. Because anything legally that you can do to fix the government, to make the government look fun, to project the government's image in a decent manner, in an acceptable form that the public will be able to accept and embrace the government programs, the government agenda, and the government itself, you have to reach out. You have to lobby. You have to build new alliances. You can't be boxing. You can't be a boxer. That thing you see my brother Daniel Sanders doing. You're not helping the government. Somebody wrestling you, go on your course. You're not helping the government. You're not helping the government. That's laziness. That's lazy propaganda. That you cannot. You appear to communicate, to interpret, to explain, to convince. You are supposed to be convincing. Your programs, your policies are supposed to be convincing because you're talking to people and you're communicating to the public because you want the public to embrace what you say or what the government is doing. When the public is rejecting what the government is doing, it means you are not doing. It means there's no impact. Your work is not making impact. So you're not achieving anything significantly. So yeah, my man, I can say, yeah, baby, just try your best. Give your everything. Give your all. Do what you can do. Just do what you can do. We'll judge you by what you can do. We'll judge by what you can do. So the thing I see man doing, you're busy, man. You can't join in with a propagandist, somebody who supported you, somebody who fed you, somebody who clothed you, somebody who sheltered you, somebody who even contributed to your AA degree, yeah. Then you see going into war of wars. What is that? So it doesn't make sense. Let's move on to this. Let me see before we move on. I want to check this thing, see what we can pay. We can give a few persons $20,000, and then we'll move on to this budgeting. If we can, then we'll move on to our conversation. Me, I told you, I say I can't be able to play caregiver. Oh, I can't talk. You play that, you play that, I can tell you every day. You play that, you don't play that, all I have to do is announce the code for you to play. Sorry, when I'm talking, you'll be playing. Simple. Okay, so when you're not playing, we'll be talking about politics. Okay. So that's what we are. So let's move on to this. We'll move into this conversation. Okay, so let me try and answer again for those of you who've just joined us. The short code to play is trust me, I know Sudi camera. So the short code to play the cash giveaway is *799 hash. Sorry, *799 *70 hash. That's the short code. *799 *70 hash. When you do that, you enter number 1 if you are playing in US dollars, and you enter number 2 if you are playing in Liberian dollars. You think I'm open? You shouldn't try it in here. This thing is not opening. Oh, let me go back. Don't do that. So while you playing your cash giveaway, I was saying to you the short code is *799 *70 hash, and then you send. When you dial *799 *70 hash, you send, and then 2 options will appear before you. Option number 1 will be asking you to play in Liberian dollars, in US dollars, and option number 2 will be asking you to play in Liberian dollars. But whichever option you enter, you send, and then you enter your mobile money password. So that's it. Let me run into this. We'll come back. We'll have 30 minutes to talk here, and then the rest of the time we can take calls and give you money. So let me make the adjustment. Okay, so some of us were not financial people like that, yet. But you see, your budget is supposed to be transparent. And the elements of the budget are supposed to be visible, clearly interpreted or explained to you, clearly understood, and clearly reported to you. Whether it's the revenue component or the expenditure component, or whether it has to do whether it's debt component, whether it's salary, whatever component, whether it's salary for or expenditure, and whatever is supposed to be clearly explained, interpreted, and reported to you or communicated to you, because you are supposed to be aware of your monies, the taxes you pay. So a couple of days ago, I think around the 12th, between there, the NRA boss announced to the public that as of the 27th of December, that's what the NRA boss said. He said, as of the 27th of December, the NRA had collected, according to him, as of December 27th. So he was making report on the 12th of January. So we calculate from the 27th to the 12th, the 27th, the 8th, 29th, the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. That's 15 days we're talking about. 16 days, sorry. That's 16 days we're talking about. So after they closed their chapter on the 27th of December, temporarily, to develop the first revenue report, or you may call it the first fiscal, the first revenue report for last year. They say as of the 27th, because the fiscal year are not ending. So they say as of the 27th of December, they have already collected $663,248,000. LRA, not Austin, not Freedom FM, not CDC, not Cummings. The LRA said as of December 27th, it had already collected 663 plus million US dollars. Now, the collection report per LRA, their collection report per LRA shows that 27.6 million is recorded as balance, meaning they still have $27 million to be raised or to be generated to prevent a shortfall, budget shortfall. Not me saying that. That's LRA. We're only running an analysis, having reviewed the fiscal report or the revenue component, the revenue summary report done by LRA. So for us, who the small thing do our management courses study with the public finance small thing, like our small thing we just applying to that. So LRA is saying, as of the 27th of December, they were able to generate 600 plus million, about $663 million. That's what they say. Now, the total money that LRA said they are supposed to generate, or they were supposed to generate, or they are supposed to generate, should be $692 million for the entire fiscal year 2024. LRA revised, according to the revised collection report, they are supposed to generate $692 million, according to them. But out of the $692 million, they have already collected $663 plus million as of December 27th. This means there is a balance of $27.6 million that LRA still has to collect. So we get the point. Today we're not talking politics. Now, the shocking thing that you need to know is that 27.6 billion that LRA needs to collect, they have to collect that amount within 3 working days to avoid or prevent revenue shortfall. So I mean, I don't know why I should be simplistic small. You're getting the point. So LRA say the government approved. LRA say we're able to raise $692 million for fiscal year 2024. We're able to raise that money. They go through different processes. The government approved. They say, okay, we can raise $692 million for fiscal year 2024. Now, from January straight to December 27, LRA say, even though we say we can raise $692 million, but as of from January to December 27, we have already raised $663,248,000 US dollars. It means there is a difference of $27.6 million to reach the $692 million. So as we speak or as we are talking today, LRA has not reached that target of $692 million. Even after they reversed the revenue envelope. Even after they reversed the revenue envelope, they had not been able to raise the $692 million as of December 27. They only raised $663 million. And like I said to you, they had, as of the date of the pronouncement by LRA, they had 3 working days. So let's say they made a pronouncement on the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. Today is the 15th. 3 working days. There are 3 more days there. The 16th, the 17th, the 18th. So, per the as of, to the close of working day on the 18th of this month, LRA has to generate 27 million, at least 27 million US dollars. That's say within 6 working days. They have to generate 27 million US dollars in 6 working days, which is technically impossible. You can talk to anybody, any tax person or any tax expert, talk to them. LRA cannot generate that money. LRA does not have the capacity to generate that money. LRA daily inflow. LRA daily inflow cannot reach or cannot pass $3 million. And I want Saturday and there because Saturday weekend dropped. So that even gave them $3 million per. Let's say they're raising $3 million per day. Because they can raise that money. But let's say we're giving LRA to a chance that you can raise $3 million per day. If you give them $3 million per day, you times $3 million per 6 days, that's $18 million. So it still means LRA or the government is still running into shortfall. Sorry, I said 18 years. Sorry, I said 18. Yeah, I did 18 million now, but 18. So because TDD are 9 and so 18 million. Yeah, I was correct. Yeah, I'm not the master at Samuel to or Disney Sibo. So that's 18 million. So let's say we give them 6 days to raise $27 million. And LRA is raising $3 million per day, excluding Saturday, because Saturday they cannot raise that money. The revenue drops on Saturdays. So LRA cannot raise that money. So we even give them say you can raise 18 million. If you minus 18 million from 27 million, there is still going to be a deficit and a significant loss that will lead us into revenue shortfall or budget shortfall. Now, the government does not, because the government wants to play, they're playing that press conference was a propaganda spree. It was a propaganda spree. They try to erase that mindset or that concept, that perception you already have that, the government always running, UP government is noted for budget shortfall. So their first year, they do not want to start their year with a budget shortfall. So they say, let's run to announce to the people that we've already raised about 95% of the budget of our revenue envelope. And we are expecting to call it transiting. They say they still use transiting. But there has to be a closing period, a closure period for revenue collection. So you don't add what is being generated for 2025 fiscal period and add it to add it to 2024 period to make up for your revenue deficit. So we have to be careful. And we are aware of that too. So we have to be careful. We have to tell you. Because they have to close their books, do the reconciliation and close their books. Up to now, they're telling us they have not even done reconciliation yet. They've not closed their books. You see, they're still money transiting, which is not a bad thing. But you should you should have an idea or a projection of the figures or the amounts that are transiting to fit in for the closing period. So you don't create corridor or create a space for what is being generated or what is supposed to be generated for 2025 fiscal year to be added to 2024 and make up for the deficit and run to the public and say, oh, there is no deficit. Hope you get the point. So double general rate say that man, you are saying the first year they know that UP is noted for budget shortfall, and because they do not want to start or end the year, the first year, with announcing budget shortfall, that's why they left the room and say they are still monies transiting or in transit. With the mindset that the monies or the amounts that are in transit, they will be able to make up for the deficit or the difference or the variance of $27 million. But in essence, the time that the government have this fiscal period, even if you say the government was inaugurated on January 22nd, even though the fiscal year starts from January 1st to December 31st, but let's say they're taking it from January 22nd, the time the government was inaugurated, which should not be a reasonable or a logical thing to do because we have a calendar budget year now. But let's say we're getting January 22nd to January 22nd, 2025. Today's the 15th. The government will still not be able to generate $27 million within that period, within that fiscal period, because January 22nd will be, you'll already be in a new fiscal period for 2025. So it is not possible. But they don't want to announce that the government is running into budget shortfall. And that is part of the reason why they have not even published anything, any serious financial instrument on their website, including the budget, the 2025 budget that they say they pass. Now, so that's just on that's just on their what they have generated. Now, I'll say to you, let's just estimate the minimum of 2 million, say above their recast target. That recast target is what? That's 692 million, right? When they recast the budget, their revenue target was 692 million. When they recast the budget, of the 692 million, they said they have generated 663 million. So they already had about 4.6 million as original 606 million short. If you do your math, you realize that they already have 4.6 million short of the original approved revenue for the government. Based on what I said, there's already a 4.6 million short of the original approved revenue target. Okay? So do the math. You have 692 million, 663 million. But they're targeting 696 million, 96.6 million. So the initial target, so this is how it works. The initial target, the actual approved figure was 696 million. They revised the budget and they arrived at 692. From 696 to 600, from 696.2 to 692 million. So it means there was already a deficit or a decline in the revenue by $2 million, $2.6 million. $2.6 million. So they revised it to 692 million. Of this amount, they collected 663 million. So we're talking $27+ million the government has to generate within a short period, in a period of 3 days, which is just not possible. And these are the technical details that the LRA failed to give you. And they will not give it to you because they don't want you to know that the government is already experiencing or already running into budget shortfall. They know that it is a bad propaganda. It is an identity of the Unity Party. Budget shortfall is an identity of the Unity Party. Budget shortfall is the middle name of the Unity Party. So they don't want that name. They don't want the year budget shortfall associated with the UP government in her first year. Especially so when they have changed 2 finance ministers. They have had 2 finance ministers just under 1 year. And they are still announcing or running into budget shortfall. And the 2 persons who they changed, who been finance minister, were former finance ministers under the Union Party government that experienced the highest budget shortfalls. They brought the 2 of them back under 1 year. 2 finance ministers who previously served as finance ministers and experienced budget shortfalls. Today, 2 of them came back. Boma Kamara came back, budget shortfall. The other man came back. Gafar is back, budget shortfall. They do not want that, mindset. That they don't want that thing in the public. That news, they don't want it. So they say, let's try to fix it, so it does not go to the public. But the reality is that you need to know is the UP government is already experiencing budget shortfall. But they will not announce it to you. But we have to announce it to you. A government that is experiencing budget shortfall is renting private jet, spending millions of dollars on private jet for her president, and is struggling to raise $28 million to avoid budget shortfall. And Baka is traveling multiple times with at least 100,000. Baka has traveled has made more than 27 trips. Calculate $100,000 a minimum that he travel with times 27. And see how many millions. It is struggling to raise $28 million to avoid budget shortfall. And Downside is proposing that we should buy airplane, private jet for Joe Baka. When the government, LRA, cannot even meet her target. Do you see the deception and the wickedness? The folks are playing, they playing against you. Now, not just that. So, when we establish the difference of 27,700 plus thousand, 28 million 700 plus $1,000, that's only around 752, 28 million 752 $1,000 around there, will be the difference, the variance. What is left for the government to raise? So that's the government dangling capacity there. They have to raise that money. If they don't raise that money within 3 working days, they will not be able to meet their revenue target, meaning there will be a shortfall. So everything Double Jala said about the revenue performance there, everything was a cliche. It was framed. It was a makeup. That's nothing to go back. It was a makeup. That's nothing to go back. What you need to know is that the revenue did not perform as targeted or approved or even as reversed. Did not perform. Did not meet target. You need to know that. And when the revenue does not meet target, that's a shortfall. It means spending entities will be affected. It means salaries could be delayed. That's a wage. It means domestic debts might not get served. It means the government may not be able to invest PSPR to some extent, to a greater extent. It means access to basic social services will reduce or drop or not be available. Because the government will have to make up for essentials. And you do not have the capacity to make up for essentials, so you have to do they will call it financial cut and pasting. Cut and paste. No, they water doing they reduce investment in waters for now. They focus on paying salary because we don't want civil servants to get invested all. No, we can push for increment now in salary, or we can implement salary increment now because there's a $28 million shortfall. So key sectors will get affected, including wage. This means you might not even be able to get stationery. For example, fire service might not even be able to get chemical, money to procure chemical that will aid them in extinguishing fire whenever they go on the scene, because they're not just regular water they can put in that tank or you can see. Okay? This means even the water and sewer may not be able to get chemical, procure chemical, adequate chemical to or treat the water to get that will be able to give you quality, quality water to drink. It means infrastructure works may be stored because there is a shortfall. The one aspect will come later on. Now, if you have by the 28th, you need to know one thing also. That double jala, and for me, I don't know. I'm just disappointed in double jala on a serious note. If you ask me the first person that should be dismissed from this government, I'll tell you double jala should be dismissed. How can Moda even left the government, double jala still there? Anybody who is saying that a lie, a friend of me, no lie, that person does not have integrity. The LRA boss is misleading the public to believe that 28 million was collected in 3 working days. It's not possible. And we're talking about between Saturday will be December 28th and Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. That's what the LRA boss is making us believe. That by the 27th, they are already generated 600 plus million and they needed 27, 28 million dollars to raise within 3 days to close the year. So the 27th, the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st. Double Jala say all the monies that are transiting in transit, meaning that money that have already been raised or are already in the Puebla, so they are transiting. So when they add up, when they sum up, it will reach 28 million dollars. That's the reason Double Jala giving you. That when they put all the money that coming between the 27, we did it. So from the 28 to the 21st, we'll be able to raise 28 million. That's what Double Jala is telling you, because he doesn't want to announce shortfall. And if the government does not announce shortfall, it means the government was able to raise 28 million between the 28th of December to the 31st of December, which is not possible. It is just not possible. No, it's not possible. But that's what Double Jala wants you to believe. That between Saturday the 28th and Tuesday December 31st, between Saturday December 28th and Tuesday December 31st, Double Jala wants us to believe that LRA was able to generate or collect $28 million. And like I said to you, this is impossible. Nobody in this government can tell you say they were able to generate $28 million between the 28th and the 31st of December. It's not possible. Because like I said to you, the maximum that the government has ever collected, LRA has ever collected per day has not passed $2.1 million. It has never passed $2.1 million. Go back to your revenue trends. Go to the trades and see. The government has never generated more than $2.1 million US daily. So you do the math. So if you have from the 28th of December to the 31st of December to raise 28 million and you are only generating $2 million a day, how the hell you want us to believe that the government is able to or was able to generate $28 million between the 28th of December to the 31st of December? That's not possible. Mathematical is not possible. Technical is not possible. Only God's miracle can make that one possible. Except the word Jala tells you, God descended to him in his sleep and ran to all the different collectors, and they were able to raise the money and turn it over to the government, which is also unbelievable, because when God descends on earth, we know there will be symptoms, there will be sounds, there will be wonders. So we know. So it's not possible. So the lie, LRA boss misled the public. All the money that in transit, they know how many money you collected now, because as of the 12, he said there were monies transiting. Meaning, or to me, those monies that were transiting says you did not experience or announced shortfall, it means those monies that were trusted in with the aggregate or the cumulative amount reach $28 million, which is a lie. And Jana, as a perceived, a professed integrity icon, should not be joining government to be lying to us. That's unfair. That's unfair. Not only that, look, like I said to you, it is unlikely. It's just impossible. Let me just use impossible. It's just impossible. It's impossible. It raises a lot of questions about the integrity and truthfulness of the NRA. To say that within a period of 3 days, you can raise that money. This is integrity issue. And these are things that we need to be talking about. The politics aside, oh, they don't say they, the person say they. At the end of the day, our revenue performance is key to growth. It is start to growth. It is key. It is significant. If your revenue is not performing, you are doomed for failure. So we have to put emphasis on our revenue, especially domestic revenue performance. It's key. So if our domestic revenue is not performing, it's going to affect, it's going to undermine growth. It's going to undermine growth. So we don't expect that our technicians or people who should be technicians at LRA to be coming to us and be lying to us about collection, revenue generation. If we didn't meet the target, say it to us. It is nowhere in our public financial management law or our PFN law or our budget law that it is a crime. It is a criminal offense if you do not meet your revenue target. Nowhere in our law say it is a criminal offense if you do not meet your revenue target. That's why almost everybody in the country is aware that revenue is a projection. But we expect that at least your performance should be within the parameters, or your underperformance should be within the parameter or come close to what you projected. That's why it's for technicians to make these projections, do technical financial analysis and be able to make these projections. So even if there's a shortfall, it will be insignificant to affect performance, to affect growth. But if there's a significant underperformance of your revenue, it's going to impact economic growth negatively. Like in this case, we're talking $28 million here that the government was unable to generate. That's huge. That's almost 50% of what the government. That's almost 50% of what the government is supposed to be spending on different health sectors. A medical center supposed to take home. That's almost 50% of what a medical center is supposed to take home. You're losing it, and you say they're hardly. Let's lie to the people. That's integrity issue. The government has shown to us that there are people in the government who do not have integrity. Now, let's assume the NRA boss decides to insist that a 3 days extraordinary collection of 28 million. Let's say he insists, the 3 days, I insist that we'll collect the money or raise the money. You know what it does? It pushes us to call on the GSC or invite the GSC to conduct an audit of our revenue envelope. We want to know the possibility. We need it. Because that year revenue performance is key. We need to do that. The GSC will come in to audit the revenue, the year-end revenue performance. So all of this is okay. The person was not fraudulent to avoid fraud. So we say, let's do it. Let GSC come in, audit the year-end revenue performance, and let's see whether there was no fraudulent, there was no fraudulent act, or there was no fraudulent inflow, and all of that, or there's no flaw in the reporting system, or in what is being reported by LRA. So the GSC will come in and do the audit. Because why do we want to audit? We want GSC to audit to avoid, like I said earlier, we want the GSC to audit the revenue performance so that we can avoid an overflow of 2025 revenue performance or inflow into the 2024 envelope. So we don't want somebody to say, oh yeah, cash are transiting. Yeah, money you collected for 2025, boom, you take it, you slide into 2024. Money collected from here, you take it, you slide into 2024 to make up for the $28 million and make it to look that you were able to generate $28 million in 30 days, which is not possible. Because as you speak, NRA has not even said to us that they've closed their books. They've not said to us that they've closed their books. It means they are still generating. And what is being generated should be accounted for 2025 and not 2024. But you've not closed the books and you are still collecting revenue and you are still giving us hope that you, even though you wasted it, even though you had a variance or a deficit of $28 million, but you're still giving us hope that you can raise $28 million on 3 days or in 3 days. 3 days are past, December has ended in January. Today is the 15th. We're going half of the month. And Tobaja still wants us to believe that he can raise $28 million. So if he say he raised that money in 3 days, we want the GSC to audit to establish whether it is true the LRA was able to raise that money in 3 days. So we avoid monies that have been generated or collected for 2025 fiscal period be transferred or transited or diverted to 2024 to accommodate or make up for the deficit or the variance of $28 million in the 2024 fiscal period. So we're not going to start with this thing. Everything will come in, we're going to call on Double Jala, the GSC, the government. There has to be, there are certain things we should not be saying. But I had too much respect for government. I really thought government was going to be in charge. I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether there is a divide or what. But I mean, I don't know. But I really thought government was going to be in charge because some of these things we're saying, these are the elementary portion of the fiscal space or the fiscal governance of our country. We don't even think we should be saying this thing. Hey, government is so quiet, mute, like lukewarm. Nobody's understanding him. We thought he was very going to come in and be forceful, forceful. Not radically forceful, but forceful meaning using the books, applying the rules, doing what is right. But he's just like, you do your thing. I took over in the middle, so I will start from my own budget. For me, that's how government appears. You do your thing. I took over in the middle. I will start from my own budget. So maybe you would think when the budget has been passed, the implementation process, and he will take charge of his own, and then we may start to see his authority. But from the look of things, I don't see Gafan. I think he was very cold. He was mute on too many critical issues. I didn't see him to be somebody in charge. A lot of corruption reports came from that place. Even after he took over, even before taking over, that he should have investigated. For the kind of person he is, the kind of experience, the work experience, all that kind of connection he has, and all of that, I think he should have investigated some of these corruption cases. I think he should have played some of these. I think there should have been an upgrade of the system. A strong bond should have been built and established between the MFDB, the LRA, and the central bank. For me, I don't see that relationship. I think they only meet occasionally. They do not have that camaraderie, which should be there. Professional camaraderie should be there. They don't have it. I think it's a takeaway for Gafan. He was there before. So he is supposed to be correcting some of the mistakes or some of the flaws, or some of the errors that he had when he served as Minister of Finance, when he served as Budget Director, and all of that. But I don't see that vigor yet. Probably this year we might see it, but I have not seen that vigor. And time is not our friend. We have to take course, but we think the government needs to publish. The government has to publish the budget. Joe Barker signed the budget. It's a public document. We can't be going to minister or government officials asking them for a copy of the budget. They approved a signed budget. We want Barker sign on. That copy is supposed to be published for us to be able to go on the Ministry of Finance website and access the copy of the budget and come here and educate or enlighten you about the budget, what is in the budget for you. Same blogger signed that budget, it has not been published. Probably these are some of the discrepancies and fraudulent behavior or attitudes that we are observing. That's why they do not want to publish the 2025 budget, because we need to see the projections in the budget. They approve, in fact, they approve lines in the budget. We need to see it. But if you hiding the budget from us, in your first year, you are hiding the budget from us, then and it's not in your first year, but after the first year, you are hiding the budget from us, then it raises eyebrows. It raises eyebrows. So all the figures we're going to continue this conversation until the budget is published. Every day we're going to check on the Ministry of Finance website to make sure that the budget is published on the MFDP website. We need the GSC to come in order to establish whether LRA was able to raise $28 million in 3 days to make up for the $28 million deficit to the 2024 revenue envelope. We need to validate this information, so people cannot be lying or misleading the public about our finances. These are integrity issues, and we have to address them head on. We can't joke with everything. We can't play politics with everything. Just say, oh, everyday politics and politics. Then we're not talking politics now. We're talking your money, your taxes you raise, your taxes you pay. There are misinformation concerning you regarding the taxes you pay. And you all have to stand up to this government, along with us, to engage them, to face them. The government has proven beyond all reasonable doubt that it has decided to be corrupt. It has decided to be corrupt. It has decided not to be transparent. It has decided not to be accountable to you. The government has already made a decision. The cabinet met and they decided that we're not going to run an open government. We're not going to run an open budget initiative. We are not going to run anything. We will remain corrupt, unaccountable to the people. That is not any asset declaration issue. Government official, LCC crying every day that they are not published. Even Joe Burger issued 39,000 notification or so-called warnings against public officials that have not declared their assets. Do you see them declaring their assets? No. Do you hear LACC calling them in for investigation or questioning? No. Do you see Joe Burger taking any action against his officials who have not declared their assets? No. Does he look bothered? No. Does he look at anybody who cares about the fact that his officials have not declared their assets? No. How would the man care about people who have not declared their assets when he himself declared his asset and not declare and misinform the public about his asset? We have to just start chasing with rotten before you come back and say, I will draw it, I'm going to correct it. Hello, let's hear you.
Good evening, Eddie.
You are live on Freedom Hard Talk. This is Austin Kawa.
Oh, are you coming on, Austin?
I'm okay. Okay, so let me go to this place and see whether some of these people are performing tonight. I don't know whether I can. Yeah, so some of you, I told you, I say will not be picking you to be. My man, I can do that one. I can tell you. I beg you, you'll be big as a giveaway. Let me get your money. I can do that one. I beg you. So let's take this caller. Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, my dear brother and Austin Kawa. Let me say happy New Year to you. Thank you. And let me grab up political slaughter. I call you for the Congress today. You are too far to your country, and you want to come to prosper. We don't let people that work out is a total embarrassment. Can't rip the country. It come not only based on transparency and accountability. They make you they have been corrupt. They have no issue of transparency and accountability. That's the reason why in office, you have criminal in the office, that's a criminal. Even at the detriment of the Liberian people, locally, local budget, they're not going to fund them. Today, a water is still job. Today, I mean, without who was arrested for the corruption, the only thing Mr. Walker asking to do, as he said, is to resign, and that's all impunity. Mr. Walker is a total embarrassment and national distress to our country. That's the reason why I listen to people talking about inauguration or let's say state of the address. But then Mr. Walker going to say, nothing. The only thing we're going on in state of the address is a national feeding day. We are afraid that we'll go feed again because I didn't get to say, look at foreign ministry.
Thank you. Hello, let's hear you. National Sleeping Day.
Good evening, Austin. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, this is Seth Moka, the visual Rebecca, the keeping Moka for the fire to do. You know, Austin, you remember this morning or this afternoon on when their show, I said the same issue. I said they are trying to confuse us here. Because the senior yesterday, last time I checked, they were complaining of budget shortfall. I could not reach their target only because our agencies did not fully make their contribution. How come we are now into new fiscal year? A new collection is going on. They are coming off to tell us that they even pass their target. How come? Then why I was looking at the political side. What I started to say, I hope they are not trying again to fight the record of President Weah. Oh, he raised more money when you were in power. We too will come and say I will not raise it more. Like people will say, oh, the mayor will go our output, and that's what they're trying to do to us. So that's what I was saying. So you see there, they just flip-flopping when it comes to the financial law of the country. Hey, Gafwa will not be in charge, my brother. Gafwa has come, he has sacked that father ministry. If you didn't read all of the number, if you didn't see what coming in for us, what is in the country, you know that it's a huge tax that you owe it there. So you don't want to watch, you want to watch it. Mind you, the last time you talk about the millennium challenge, you said that get it up to the government because we check in. Okay, if it comes, the other up benefit. So he is really, because you know that from the financial aspect, I don't care what happened, you need to work with the police so that they can make sure that it's happy. But unless the people who don't have no idea, who have no clue when you come to government, they flip flop and say all of the wrong thing when you talk about the past God. The parents say, hey, no, don't do that. We got to do it together. So Gafwa is still reading. He's still thinking whether he will survive here or he should be taking a leave to go back where he comes from. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person, go ahead.
Hello.
You're live.
Thank you, Jola. I'm Harris M. Dennis. I'm a corporate political capital district of Hayes, community.
Harris.
Yes, sir.
Do I sound like AB? Why people keep calling me AB? I'm not AB. I'm Austin. What happened?
Oh, okay. I missed the number. Sorry, Austin. All right.
What you mean? The post used to 8 o'clock. Yeah. So, okay, folks. So I think we have to go home. We can't take more calls tonight. We have to go. You know, I'm not. Yeah. No, I thought I want to read it, but for some other reasons I have to go. So we can just take more calls. Okay, so we have to call it a day. We have to call it a night. In fact, yeah, we have to go. For some other reasons, we have to go. We have to go. Where
you at? Working for your stomach. Stop slipping. Whip your hands. Come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, sorry, we can't take calls. We have to go home. But let me say thanks to all of you for following us tonight. Let me say thanks to all of you for watching. Those of you who follow us via the online radio. Those of you using your manual radio system or whether it's a telephone. We say thanks to all of you for following us tonight. The callers and everybody. We shall be back here tomorrow by God's grace. But until then, my name is Austin Kawa. Good night.
We tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach. Indeed, and now you need to deceive us.